Welcome. It is the Show Me Reptile Show podcast. We are back for, I believe, episode number 20. We've got a special guest this week, Superior Scales Reptiles. Ryan Thomas is here. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, Brady. Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited to be on here.
Good. We got a couple new faces, too, for a lot of people that may not know, or most of you do. But Steve, the General, is with us. He's part of Show Me Reptiles team now. And we've also got Loki here joining us from the St. Peter's store.
Hi, everybody.
And
What's up, guys?
Everybody knows Mickey. So welcome, Ryan. We appreciate you taking some time and joining us here. Just kind of keep it casual and have a good conversation this week. We thought we'd check in with you and see what's new in your world. Any big exciting projects you got going on or upcoming shows with us?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as far as exciting projects, I mean, the way once you've been doing this long enough, the way the seasons work, especially with ball pythons, so that's what I specialize in. I do some other stuff too, but probably 95% of ball pythons is that the season is turned into there's not really a season anymore. It's year round. So, each season tended to be later and later, and finally it's like, is that late or early now? I don't know. And then, some girls come up to size halfway through the year. So the exciting thing is just, yeah, about, every month or two, I'm working on new pairings or, finally, a certain pair is up to size, ready to start breeding. And so, yeah, that's been pretty exciting. As far as projects, I mean, let me tell you, we've got a homestead at our house, so we've always got projects, not necessarily snake related, but always doing some type of DIY of some sort. So definitely stay busy with that.
Yeah, and I always can't help when I got a guest coming on. I got to go check out what's new in their world. So
Yeah.
I snuck a peek at some of the collection there, and you got some near and dear stuff to my heart. Some of the dark stuff, mahogany, the
Yeah.
GHI Stranger, like some beautiful stuff on there.
Yeah. You have
So
some blackhead in there too. So I definitely really like working those dark genes. Something that's got me to where I am today is I just like it all. I want the bright stuff, I want the dark stuff, I want the funky pattern stuff, I want the nice dorsal stripe, clean look, everything. So, as my collection has grown, my interests have grown. I mean, people say, yeah, like what's your specialty project? Or kind of what do you specialize in? And it used to be yellow belly complex stuff. I really liked the highway and freeway projects, and that was kind of my if I had a niche, that was it. But now it's grown so much, it's like I really can't pick. So I usually just have to like, well, what's your favorite project? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working on that too. And here's kind of what I'm doing with it. And what are you doing? So, kind of guide the conversation that way. But yeah, the dark stuff, I've really started liking stacking those genes in projects, and you get some stuff you just don't really expect. So yeah, good eye on that.
yeah. I mean, I did notice you got a lot of variety on there. You got a bunch of
Yeah,
Orange Dream stuff. Everybody's got clown, but it's kind of
sure,
exciting in the ball python world that the clown. I wouldn't say it's run its course, but it's kind of lost its momentum a little bit because
sure,
everybody in the world has it.
sure.
Beautiful gene because
Yeah.
it goes with everything, but it's kind of nice to see like what's going to be next. What's the next breakout that's going to happen?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of those genes where now, we kind of consider that more in the pet trade, just like just a standard clown.
Yeah.
But still the genes you can stack on that or the other recessives you can add in. I mean, there's still so much to do with it too that you kind of just have to be creative and kind of think of, maybe what hasn't been done and let's try that and see if it works.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like you get a gene like that kind of stacks with everything pretty well, and then somebody finds something really bizarre. Like I had no idea that tri-stripe would go so well with Desert Ghost. And have you
Yeah.
seen some of those combinations? Like,
So clean, so bright, so clean. Yeah, really nice. Really
and
nice.
tri-stripe was one of those that like 10 years ago it seemed like it just kind of faded out and people stopped messing with it because it didn't seem
Yeah.
to do anything exciting.
It
And
just did
then
the same
somebody all of a
thing
sudden,
and yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
somebody
It's
puts it
kind of
with Desert
similar.
Ghost, and wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of similar to like genetic stripe, kind of, it doesn't do a whole lot. It kind of looks the same in most combos, but then you stack that with clown and it does something completely different that you wouldn't expect. So sometimes, yeah, you just have to try something and see if it works.
Loki, what about you? You got anything exciting popping off this year on your project side?
Probably not a lot this year, but this coming year, I agree on the darker stuff. I love things that are like black, white, and gray. So I've been
Hmm.
focusing on raising up some like MJ exanthic type things and some of
Oh
that like
yeah.
mahogany, blackhead, all like het pied stuff. I love the contrast of that.
Yeah, those will be some really nice projects for you. And I know people used to say, white and gray snakes, that's kind of boring, but man, they sure are hot now. Like people love the
They're
look of
so
them. So
striking.
they really stand out. I mean, almost every show I'm at, people are like, hey, you got the Xanthic stuff, you got that black and gray, black and white stuff. Like they want to see that. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
they're
good
they're always
direction.
my favorites.
I remember my first lightning pied. I've always been impressed with the black and gray. You know what I
Hmm.
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That
I
snake will
don't know.
never stop being like a top three most beautiful ball python,
Oh
in
yeah.
my
Yeah,
opinion.
My lightning tide is like the pride and joy of all my snakes. His name is Snood and I love him.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's like I know
Listen, a
there's
lot of
no
times.
color. Go ahead,
Oh,
Mickey.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's like there's not a lot of color, so it seems boring, but it's something about it just being so unnatural looking, that I think
Yeah.
that's what draws you to it.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Well,
super
and
cool.
Pied is always so striking in appearance, anyways,
True.
and how much it varies or whatever. Varies or stays the same. Just depends on how you want to look at it, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of those genetics that kind of play into each other. To be able to do something so different inside of Pied really kind of sets that stuff off. I definitely agree. The lightning Pied stuff it's just exceptional.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
but I got a question for you, Ryan, because
What's
Brady
up?
was talking or whatever, and he was talking about you do all sorts of things and the various things. So I
Yeah.
want to know what is cooking with your daughter? What kind of stuff is she over there trying to whip up
Yeah.
and sell me at the next show?
So my daughter, Raylan, she is 7 years old, and she started this last year going to the shows. And Steve has become a big fan, and well, I'll say a supporter. Just really, really kind to her. She's been working on little crafts. She'll make like aqua bead, little animals or little shapes, and bracelets. Just reptile themes or green colors. Just things that kind of go with the theme of what we're selling, and that way she's also involved. But she also has she got into sand boas. So we've got some sandbows. Matter of fact, the first sandbow we got was one that I purchased from a buddy at a show, and I was like, my daughter needs a snake and a little worm snake. Sure, that's perfect. And she absolutely loves them. So we've got some sandboa projects that she's, that's kind of her thing. So I'm hoping at some point that'll be the branch she takes. She just really likes them a lot. So as far as reptiles go, and then my son, he's 5, and he's a crazy wild child, but he absolutely loves the rodents. So like anything I'm doing with, even he likes helping feed the snakes, which is kind of funny. But even like just caring for rodents, whether it's feeding, what he just loves being a part of that. So he's definitely got his path set. He just loves the rodents. So I think that's going to be pretty cool to see how that plays out.
Well, and you found a good way to form a really solid team network there with that sort of dynamic.
Definitely,
I
yeah,
would I would probably lean into that maybe
yep, yep. Oh, I
a
plan
little
to.
bit.
Just a little.
I love it.
Yeah,
Good business plan. You just got to keep making it fun for them, so that it
that's
keeps
it.
being
That's it.
a great job and a fun activity.
So you're homesteading, Ryan? Is that what's going on? Are you doing the
Yeah.
off the grid thing, or?
So we're not quite that extreme with it, but so my wife Katie, this is kind of her niche is small farm essentially. And so she recently started up a bakery. And what kind of led into that is we have our own ducks, our own chickens. So we've been getting eggs for a long time on that. She does all the gardening. We've got all kinds of fruit trees that we planted over the last few years that are all bearing fruit now. And so we've definitely, we might look into some solar options at some point. We've also talked about, drilling like a ground well to get actual natural water. So there's some things we're definitely not hardcore with it, but we're trying to, in the few acres that we've got, make the most out of that and kind of it's also really cool too, because we homeschool our kids. So, and by we, I mean really my wife, she mainly does that, but it's just such a good learning opportunity of taking care of things, learning how to do things, just getting your feet in the dirt, just kind of really grounding yourself in nature. So it's been a really cool thing. So I don't know if it's a mixture of her passion in that area, but also wanting our kids to kind of grow up in that as well. That's really pushed us doing the homesteading thing on a small scale. So yeah, we really enjoy it.
Well,
Oh,
that's
that's
I
awesome.
love
awesome.
that.
Even if
Yeah,
you're not full in on it, the way things are going in this world, it's going to be nice to have a
at
little
least the
bit of
part,
backup
right?
and a little bit of money
Yeah.
savings.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Plus, man, I don't care what anybody says. The fresh vegetables and stuff out of your own garden, it's night and day compared to the junk you buy in the
Nothing that tastes
store.
like them. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there's bright red tomatoes in the grocery store, but they don't taste like a tomato.
Right?
I can tell you in the Midwest though, solar with reptiles doesn't work too well.
Yeah,
Bad.
that does not surprise me.
Yeah, there's not enough sunshine. You get about 3 or 4 months out of the year. The rest of the year it's just meh.
Yeah.
December, January, February, when it's overcast gray for 3 straight months, that's not going to work.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how that doesn't work without the sun. Yeah, so kind of a
Hey,
problem.
but if you can get 3 months out of the year without paying an electric bill, that's great. But there's a big
True.
investment to get there.
Yeah.
We all know how high reptile electric bills are too, so I mean that's some
Oh yeah.
savings.
We could do
That
a
is
whole
some savings.
podcast on the electric bills.
Right, right. I'd love to hear some of those stories. Maybe I wouldn't love to hear some of those stories. So
I'll
Yeah,
just start posting them on Facebook.
yeah,
$1,000.
there you go. Just the bill. Boom.
So, hey, Loki, I know you guys had the adoption event last weekend. How did that go?
Yeah, that went really well. We found new homes for 7 of our reptiles, all
Oh,
really
awesome.
good fits. So it went really well for our first one, and I'm definitely excited to keep having these events.
That's awesome. You hear a lot of like dog and cat or puppy and kitten adoption events, but you don't hear a
Yeah.
lot for reptile. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
get
think everyone enjoyed it coming out and getting to see everyone.
Yeah,
yeah. Sadly, we get a lot more surrendered than a lot of people might realize at the shops,
Yep.
and
Oh
they
yeah.
I
come in
actually believe that.
sometimes. Yeah, they come in bad condition sometimes, and Loki and the staff at every one of those shops does a great job of turning them around. Sometimes we have to take them for vet visits.
Sure.
Lots
I'll
of
say
lots
this
of it.
guy was actually a surrender originally, and he had such a good personality that he's one of our ambassador animals now. He's just
Oh, I
so
love
sweet.
that.
That's
So
beautiful.
once again, the thumbnail is kind of small on my phone. What kind of snake is it?
He's a ball python. We think that
Okay.
he is a lesser pastel, but really it's just guessing on morphs. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I
he
see
didn't
that
have a
lighter
lot of
color.
information.
Very cool though. I love that. Yeah, the more ambassador animals we can have with the public. I mean, there's such a negative stigma on reptiles in general, but especially snakes. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's for anybody that's looking to give, looking for something that's just going to be a great pet. All the stores have those animals available. We
Yeah.
are a little bit picky on who we let them go to. You've got to prove that what care they need set up and that you have the right enclosure
Yeah.
and whatnot. But those are an option. And now, Logie, was it just at the event, or do we always do something where we waive or work with them on the rehoming fee if they're buying the enclosure from us?
Yeah, so we always do adoptions. We just try and do the events to really get like as many matched with perfect homes as possible. But we pretty much always are taking on surrenders, rehabilitating them, and then finding them good homes. So if there's ever anyone interested in that, we will talk to them about if they're a good fit,
Very cool.
let them meet the animals.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
very cool.
Now we do have one coming up this weekend in Springfield. Our Springfield store is doing an adoption event. That should
Celebrating
be
their
a good
1 year
time.
anniversary too.
Yeah, their 1 year anniversary.
That's exciting.
Yeah, a lot going on down there this
I
weekend.
can't believe it's been a year that that store's been in that location.
I know.
That's flown by. Wow. Yeah. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
non-stop craziness.
Yeah.
But
That's
everybody
the
grows.
show
I
me
mean,
way, boss.
I was about to say, is there any other pace?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. We all grow together. Ryan, we've watched you grow over the years,
Yeah, for sure.
with your ball pythons and stuff, and yeah, no, it's just the way it goes. We all grow.
Yeah,
Good.
that is
I
the
got a
goal.
little. I got a little round in the midsection for a while, but
Most of us all have grown that way a
That's
little
not the
bit.
kind of growth we're talking about, Mickey. Yeah.
hey, I've been exercising.
Good, good. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've seen Ryan's post. He's been sitting and hitting some plateaus over there too
Yep, yep.
over the last couple months with lifting and all of that stuff. I see you over
Yeah.
there beast moding.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I got just point in my life, probably just being a dad too. I was like, I just want to start seeing how strong I can get because, my peak's passing very fast, right? So so I've been spending the last about 6 months really just working on strength and just kind of testing myself in another way. I mean, and you guys all know this when you live a life where there's just a lot of stress because like even I've got a day job, I've got a family, we've got all kinds of activities for the kids, but then all the snake stuff, my mind never stops, like never. So something about you got to find your thing, and like for me, lifting is something that just I kind of forget about that stuff. I focus on something else. I view it as making getting myself better in some way, whether it's mental or physical, and it's just a nice kind of stress reliever. So that's something I've really dove into the last year or so. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, you actually inspired me to start getting back into shape.
Good. I love it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
seen some
that.
of your posts, and I'm like, if Ryan can do it, I can do it too.
There you go.
Not me.
Make it a t-shirt. Make it a t-shirt.
Right.
Speaking of t-shirts, Mickey, what did we launch last weekend?
Oh yeah, our merch store launched last weekend. We actually sold some shirts. Woo!
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, they
So is that
actually.
an online store or like in
Yeah.
your shops? Online? Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, if anybody goes to showmereptileshow.com, you can click on the merch tab and it'll take you straight over. We've got about 18 or 20 different t-shirt and hoodie designs that are up there now.
You got to get
And there'll
that
be
cropped hoodie. It's perfect.
lots more coming. Yeah, everybody keeps asking if we got a crop top hoodie, so I'm like, okay, we'll
It's
make
Me.
it.
coming.
I'm the person asking. It's
Yeah, if anybody missed out, they could check last weekend and see Scott and Blake both modeling crops.
You
That's what
know,
sold it for
I
me.
did see
I
that.
don't
That's
know
I
if anyone
did see
wants to
that,
see it, but it was there.
and that image is still burned in my retinas. I mean, I still
Yeah.
see
Yes, sir.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they requested the show me mankini, and I was like, I don't think we can go there.
We're not.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
They'll
keep
have
it
to
at the crop
customize
top.
it.
So Steve, since you're kind of the newest member and a big change here on the team, why don't you fill everybody in a little bit on some of the stuff you're bringing and some of the general podcast network that's going on over there on the
Sure.
YouTube channel.
Sure. Me and Mickey have been working together on building a network team for YouTube. We are in the process. We already have the platform. We're just assembling everything. And I've already been out recruiting the people that are going to be coming across. It looks like currently anywhere from 14 to 17 influencers and podcasters getting ready to come over and hit the channels. So it's going to be kind of a trickle effect because we're going to have to work scheduling and who is doing what and what shows till we find our groove. But I think that's going to be the exciting part is finding out where everybody fits. And as things just progress, it's just those people will be in their slots. And now there's more hours in the day to fill. So there's always room for progression. It's gonna kind of be a little bit of everything. There'll be people that are making like specific reels. There will be podcasters that will be doing weekly shows, bi-weekly or monthly, depending on what the content is. We have people that are going to be discussing like more of your veterinarian type stuff, husbandry stuff, your basic care and needs for a various variety of reptiles, conservation, so basically we're trying to build something that no matter what you're into, there is always a time of the day or a day of the week that you're going to want to tune in because your show's about to come on. And like I said, there's a lot of work to be done. It will only get better as we progress. But it's going to be a fun journey, and I think everybody should tune in the beginning when we're making all the mistakes, because in no time short, we'll have it down and the bloopers will stop. So now's your time to catch us when we're fresh. And let's just, we'll see how it goes. But the show me way is even if we stumble, we never fall. So we're going to continue to move forward, no matter what we do. And it's kind of a culture that, Brady, we've been looking to spread that not just through the network on the YouTube side, but all throughout Show Me and the community, and just trying to do what's best by everybody and being nice. Be nice to people. It's all about the people.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the beginning, Mickey's passion is to grow the community as a whole. It's not just grow the shows, grow his stores, but what can he do to grow the hobby and the community and the amount of people in this country who look at reptiles as an amazing pet? And
Absolutely.
this is just another extension of that. Like you said, something to appeal to everyone. There may be somebody that loves to watch a podcast where they sit down and, interview and get to know a new breeder and new members of the team. And other people may look at that and think, that's boring. I want something funny and amusing. And guess what? It'll be there.
Well, And I actually personally really like that. And Ryan can attest to it. He's seen it time and time again with me at local shows and stuff. I've always gone and interviewed somebody at the shows, and we actually have a team, and I will be doing that as well at the shows that I'm at, where we will be doing those vendor spotlights. And I think it's important. I think it's important because it shows respect to our vendors, and it lets everybody have their chance in front of the camera, so to speak. You know, guys, no matter how popular we think we are, we're only popular to like 0.0000001% of the world. So let's give everybody a chance to shine. And, you know, I like to do that. And Ryan, I know I haven't come over and done you, and the reason is because it looks judgmental because you're always at the top.
Sure.
So the honesty is it's because I feel like some of the other people need some of that inspiration and that push and drive, and it makes them try harder.
Yeah,
And all you
I
can ever
fully
ask
support
of
it.
somebody is to try.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I've done. I've enjoyed doing it. I kind of got my face out of doing that, and cheesy or not, I'll never stop it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I think it's
know.
pretty obvious that you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, you know, Ryan, a couple of shows ago in St. Louis, Ryan gave us some time. Mickey had me go over and shoot a quick video with him, and it's available on the YouTube. But tips and tricks for other vendors, you know,
Yeah.
so not just getting to know him and that, but you know, he gave us some great points because if you walk by the Superior Scales table, like it looks top notch, like it's
Yeah.
not just thrown together. I mean, it's professional. It's clean. The animals are beautiful. You know, his table covers look fantastic. There's cards available out there. And you know what?
Thank you.
He's not sitting on a chair behind the table looking at his phone while people browse his animals. He's out front and personal. And that's one of the biggest things. You know, Mickey says it all the time. It's like, if you want to sell stuff at the show, you can't be sitting down just watching people browse your goods. That's not how it works.
Well, it's not even all about just selling stuff either. Like, you just don't get to make those connections with other people, or you don't, you know, you miss an opportunity to maybe educate somebody about an animal because you're sitting back doing this number. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
the shows. I mean, sales are important at shows and everything, but they're not like the end all. You know, that's not the main goal. Like, that's not the only goal of the show. Like.
Right. It's the connections you're building, because if you literally say hello to 100 people that walk by your table during a show, 5 of them are going to remember you, and somebody's going to reach out after the show and buy something that they weren't ready to buy at the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Mickey was saying too, there's been, I mean, countless times when you can correct something. You know, you may see someone lean over your table and they say something, and all kinds of things they say, and it's like not actually accurate at all. And you can kind of kindly educate them and take that opportunity. So that's a great opportunity for it.
Oh yeah, no, it's all a lot of fun, and I really enjoy watching, you know, all you guys over the years just grow and do better. It's been an enjoyable trip, and you know, guys like you, Ryan, make it worth doing, and I really appreciate you being around.
Thank you.
You know, am I back again, guys? I know I disappeared for a second.
You're back.
You're still here.
Okay. You know, one thing that I've always respected about Ryan is I can't think of a time that there's been a no call, no show. And that doesn't mean that life hasn't occurred for Ryan, but other people have stepped in. The show continues to go on. He's not leaving a booth open. And sure enough, Ryan will swoop in and just never, it's looking out for the promotion. It's looking out for your brand and your image. And I don't know people that do that as often, because Ryan has a lot of obligations on Sunday mornings and things like that when a lot of these shows go on. And he still finds a way to meet all the obligations, and he is at the shows. And I noticed that, Ryan. I noticed
Appreciate
that.
it. Yeah, thanks, Steve. I was gonna say it's a juggling act, but I feel like we don't want to talk about juggling. So
Man, yeah, I know,
we're gonna
right?
leave that one out of here, right? Yeah.
No, not now.
Wrong Wrong show, wrong promotion.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
couldn't
Well,
believe that.
that guy gave himself a reputation for life now.
Yeah, yep. We it's actually important for people to watch that and what kind of negative impacts doing things like that has not only to the hobby but personally to himself too. So
Yeah,
a lot to learn there.
it makes you worry if somebody does that on camera at a show. What are they doing behind the
I
scenes?
know. Yeah. Oh yeah. It created all kinds of questions.
I just
Whew.
put my head in my hands whenever I seen that. I was like,
Yeah. When I
Mickey was
first
with me when I seen it. Man,
when
I
I
was not.
first yeah, I swore it was an AI video of someone, guy juggling ball, and then I was like, no, that's actually, oh wow, that's real. Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
yeah, it's so crazy. Some you see the craziest things when you're out at shows,
Yeah, I
but
believe it. I believe it.
that is
So we got a
that's top of it.
That's definitely
couple exciting new shows coming up. We're heading back to Memphis,
We've
okay.
never been to Memphis.
or heading to Memphis. Yeah, short notice on that show, but it's gathering vendors very quickly.
Also
Yeah,
heard rumors of Joplin.
Joplin's
Job.
a real
Is that
thing.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay. Happen in the
Joplin's
summer?
real life. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that's in my neck of the woods. So I'm planning on planning on doing that one. I just need to double check schedules, but if we're open, we'll
Yeah,
be there. It's not too
and
far
that's a
We
pretty
south.
nice big facility too. There, it's pretty new, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's brand new. I think we're like the first event that's actually happening in it.
Oh wow.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
They're
That's
really
awesome.
excited to have us. People have been asking for Joplin and Memphis for years, and we finally decided to tiptoe in there and give it a shot.
So I'm
So,
curious, Mickey, just to ask you on a new location like that, Memphis and Joplin, what's the marketing strategy? How does it differ from just your regular shows that are recurring and people already know about it? Like, is there extra measures you take to get the word out, or what's the plan there?
so we our social media team and our coordinators team. I don't know if you've had anybody from the coordinators team reach out, Ryan, to try and get you to sign up for shows or not.
Yes.
But
Yep.
so those guys, we do the same thing for all the shows. Like we reach out to like all the news stations,
Hmm.
everything like that. Now I will go a little bit harder on like social media advertising for a new show, but
Sure.
yeah, I mean we just bring what we bring to the table for that.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
And that Memphis is May 17th and 18th, so
yeah.
pretty short window on the signups for that. But like I said, those vendor signups are coming in hot and heavy on that.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. Whoever's going down there, they're gonna have to do an Elvis jumpsuit thing.
and
It's
then
actually two Music Cities.
on an exciting note too, we officially made ourselves coast to coast. So we have shows everywhere from Maine to Oregon now. So we signed
Wow.
Medford, Oregon for this fall, and have a couple other exciting ones in the work.
That's quite an accomplishment. That's
I'm
a
really excited
that's a
about the
spread.
one. I'm really excited about the one we haven't announced yet. That's out in the desert. That hasn't had a reptile show in like 30 years. That we've worked really hard to get a reptile show in. Really excited about that one.
Vegas?
Oh no, no,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no.
Well,
It's
I will stay tuned for the announcement.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I don't know about. I like Las Vegas. The scenery's nice out there. Like there's a lot of nice landmarks, and there's Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon right out there and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
don't know about a reptile show out there, man. Like I'm afraid I'd lose staff members out there. Like that'd probably be
Right. I think you would. I think you would.
I do
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go out there a couple times a year for leadership through the carpenters and babysitting adult carpenters in Las Vegas. No, thank you.
and you might have to do an over
Been
under
there, done
pool
it.
on. Might have to
Yeah.
do an over under pool on how many vendors oversleep the morning of a show in Vegas.
Well, they
Yeah.
actually do have a really good local community out there. I don't know if we need to. We'll see.
Never say never.
Right, exactly. I say, oh no, I don't want to do that. And next week I announce a show in Vegas.
Yep. Yep.
Like on second thought, maybe I do want to do that.
Yeah, had a change of heart, but no, it's super cool. So, how many clutches are you gonna push out this year, Ryan?
So once again, really weird is I just finished. So I had like a 40 clutch burst from like October to January, and I just had my last ones hatch out last month, and so I'm like my next clutch will start dropping into this month. And then like right now I've got about 30 females that'll be going in the next 60 days. And so I just don't really know outside of that. So it'll probably be 80 to 100 in that range. That's been my pretty typical spread, except for last year because A, it was a really late season. I also slowed down breeding quite a bit to refocus on some projects, also just kind of judge the market trends a little closer and see how things are going to be moving before I, produce my normal numbers again. So I did have a slower year last year, but that was intentional.
I always notice breeders, they get worried whenever the market slows down and stuff. And I
Hmm.
remember during COVID, a lot of guys were like, "Oh, I'm not breeding anything," and like some of us had our best years ever that year. So like I've always just been a breed what you got, breed responsibly, obviously. Like
Sure.
don't
Yeah.
don't, but
Yeah. And I think that was part of my refocus was like really fine tuning. When I come up with my breeding plans, it's like I wanted to be about halfway in between like where half the stuff I'm producing is stuff that I know is visually stunning, like in a even in like a pet market where people at shows are looking for these combos, they're quick sellers, under $500, maybe 300 range, somewhere in there. That I know customers are wanting and I sell out of every year and I never have enough of them. So I really like intentionally focused on about half of my pairings going towards that stuff, with the other half then focused on things that I am trying to make for myself to further my projects. Also for higher end customers, I'll be hitting stuff for them, but knowing that out of those, when you're shooting those, you got low odds on things. You're going to have some surplus of things that you end up either having to wholesale or they're, the cheaper snakes at shows that you sell. So I tried to really make sure I had a good mix of making sure I'm really fulfilling the customers' needs that I've built over the years, like that base, but then also still trying to further my projects because I still there's so much to be done, so many ideas I have. I can't do it all in the same year, so just trying to kind of stair step those plans.
see, that's really smart, Ryan, because like I see some ball python guys, they come out there and they've got great genetics, like they've got all the top genes and everything, but they set up at a show and their cheapest animal's like 5 grand, and it's like, man, like I love your animals, but you're
Yes.
not gonna make sales
Which
here.
their focus, yeah, if their focus isn't sales, then that's wonderful. If it's just publicity, maybe education, getting their brand out there, if they got some high end stuff and they might attract some people during tax time or something. But yeah, if they're complaining about sales, then obviously there's an obvious issue there, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
What is beautiful with the ball pythons that you can get them to stagger those clutches. Because I
Hmm.
started off mostly with the sand boas, and I
Okay.
don't know if you've seen it with what you have in the sand boa world. I tried staggering those things. I was like, well, if I could just get some of them to breed in November and December, and some of them in January and February, and I could
Yeah.
space this out, that'd be great. And they would not do anything for me. January, December, November, they won't do a thing until the storms roll in February and March.
Yep.
That's what triggers them, and it's like, and then never fails. You're going to get all your litters between like July and September, and there you go. There's 150 babies.
Yeah, we've only had a couple so far, but they were all around the same time. So well, I think you might be right on that. Although I will say, dealing with pythons for 13 plus years now and eggs and incubation and all that stuff, seeing litters, man, just live born babies right there, like that is cool. It's super cool.
Yep.
And just opening up the enclosure and seeing all these little things squirming around, hiding, like that's super cool. So I
Yeah, I
really
it's
enjoy
so
used to
that part with
messy.
the boas. What'd you
fishing for
say?
babies.
It's so messy though.
It is. Oh, totally. And fortunately with sand boas, they're much smaller snakes, so it's not as messy as like your bigger boas, it's
Yeah,
not like a huge mess. But still, yeah, it is crazy to me. And then even like, seeing some of the stillborns, like just like I don't know, just the science nerd in me, just seeing those different stages of development too, even that some don't go all the way, but you can kind of just still see it. I've
yeah,
been studying that in eggs for a long time, but now seeing it in this medium is just, yeah, really cool. Really
yeah.
cool.
When you have like a litter with a ton of variety in it, it's so fun. It's like playing the lottery. You get this bin,
Yeah,
and you're just like
yeah,
fishing around. It's like, oh, paradox, oh, paradox,
yeah,
albino, stripe.
yeah.
Then
Yeah, no.
and then too, you get some of them that just explode and have a huge litter. I had one sandball that had 37 babies, and it's like I
Holy
swear, I'm like
smokes.
this can't even be one litter. Like it's got to be
Wow.
like somebody else crawled in here and had babies. But
Right, yeah, has to be. Yeah, that's a
I I
that's
had
a giant litter.
I had just bought a new rack because I'm like, oh well, man, I'm gonna have a lot of babies this year. I got to get a new rack, and then one litter filled it. It's like, all right, well now I need
Gotta
another
get
one.
another.
Right.
Like for another one. Yep. Well, Ryan, really appreciate you coming on with us, and
Yeah.
look forward
Yeah.
to seeing you at the next show, man. and keep doing what you're doing. I think you're out here killing it. Just
Appreciate it. That means a lot.
overall.
Thank you. Well, I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it, man. Have a great show at your next one, and we'll talk to everybody soon next week.
We'll see you,
All right.
Ryan.
See ya.
Bye, Ryan.
Peace.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to the Show Me Reptile Show podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave us a comment, and tune in for more amazing reptile content soon. Until next time, stay curious, love your animals, and respect one another.